Hello everyone, I'm Mike Mickle. Welcome to INN News on this Monday. We begin with Your Vote 2012 and the bet made over the weekend. That's all the talk today.
I read your first book and it said in there that your mandate in Massachusetts, which should be the model for the country.
You know what? You've raised that before, Rick, and you're simply wrong. I'll tell you what. 10,000 bucks? $10,000 bet?
That bet was made during a debate in Iowa. Some critics say this will hurt Romney because most voters don't have that kind of money to throw around. Meanwhile, the latest poll numbers show there's really only one man to beat at this time, Newt Gingrich. An average of polls from Real Clear Politics show Gingrich with nearly 33% of the vote. Mitt Romney has nearly 21%. Herman Cain, who's not even in the race, still registers with 12.5%. Ron Paul is in fourth with 9.5%. That's ahead of Rick Perry's 7.3%. Michelle Bachmann, Rick Santorum, and John Huntsman round out the rest of the field. President Barack Obama met with Iraq's prime minister today as the United States prepares to complete the withdrawing of virtually all its troops from Iraq by the end of the year. The two leaders discussed cooperation between their countries. The withdrawal is scheduled to be finished by December 31st. 6,000 U.S. troops and 4 U.S. military bases remain in Iraq. Australian authorities are trying to untangle a fraud case that could be one of the country's biggest ever. And Japanese students drum up support for tsunami victims. It's all in our Global News Now. A finance manager for the Queensland Australia Health Authority is under arrest accused of stealing $16 million in government funds to live a life of stolen luxury. Authorities say 36-year-old Joel Barlow spun a web of lies, even falsely telling close friends that he was a Tahitian prince. Most recently, officials say Barlow threw himself a birthday party, complete with champagne and a $30,000 birthday cake. Students from Japan's disaster-hit region played the country's traditional drums in Paris to ask for donations for children who were orphaned in the March earthquake and tsunami. The 10 performers included junior and senior high school students belonging to a Japanese drum team. They used drums that had been swept away by the tsunami but later retrieved from the debris. And Japan has successfully launched an information-gathering satellite into orbit. A rocket carrying the satellite aboard blasted off today. The satellite is fitted with radar equipment that can detect and take images of the Earth's surface, even at night or in bad weather. And that's your Global News Now. Former Penn State assistant football coach Jerry Sandusky will appear in court tomorrow morning. Sandusky faces 40 charges of rape and molestation in a child sex abuse scandal that involved 8 alleged victims. Some will take the stand tomorrow outlining painful charges of abuse. Sandusky is accused of performing oral sex on the teenager known as victim number 1 more than 20 times in 2007 and 2008. The boy's attorney says the teen is ready to testify.
How is your client trying to prepare himself for this?
He has been told to essentially tell the truth and prepare by simply trying to relax as best as he can.
Former Penn State coach Joe Paterno is in the hospital after fracturing his pelvis. The former head football coach slipped and fell at his home Saturday night. Doctors decided to keep him in the hospital because he's being treated with chemotherapy for lung cancer. Paterno was fired last month amid the sex abuse scandal. Many say he could have done more when he learned about one of the assaults. A teenager who robbed, stabbed, and killed a Pizza Hut delivery driver for $50 in Omaha, Nebraska has to spend 50 years in prison. 17-year-old Brighton Gibbs killed Christopher Taylor a little over a year ago. 3 others were also charged in the robbery. Police say the 4 lured Taylor to this empty apartment to rob him. That's when Gibbs stabbed the driver. Delivery drivers put themselves at risk every day. Clark Young from our affiliate KPTM rode along with one to find out what steps he takes to stay safe.
From the moment the order comes through, that's when the mental checklist begins for delivery guys like Adam Wiederholt. But he says that he started delivering for one reason only.
The tips, honestly. And then also meet new people every day. It's always interesting. You always find something new. And there's always problems to be solved.
Wiederholt has been delivering food for the past 3 years and says that even to this day, he still gets a little nervous before each delivery.
Well, it's a little nervous. You never know what you're going to expect. Attitudes and kids and parents that are busy. And
Wiederholt says that as a new delivery driver, there are a few things you should always be aware of.
It always helps to have a voice recorder ready to record, and even a camera. So if you feel nervous, turn your voice recorder on, and then you can go up to the door and feel secure that if anything's said or anything happens, that at least you've covered your corners. So.
Wiederholtz knows firsthand some of the dangers he faces with his job. Back in October, he was robbed at gunpoint right here along 72nd and Dodge while trying to make a delivery.
They first get you to trust them, ask some questions, get them close to you. That's what they'll try to do. Ask you for a cigarette, ask you for your phone, use a cell phone real quick. You just want to say no, mind your own business, and go on your way. So.
As long as he keeps his head down and does his job with a smile, Wiederholtz says that hopefully the big tips will continue to come in. Clark Young reporting for INN News.
The managers where he works say they make sure all delivery drivers carry only as much money as they need to make change, never go inside a home or apartment, and always have a cell phone. Well, many of you are hitting the stores for Christmas shopping, but you could make yourself a target for thieves. As we move from store to store, concentrating on getting that next perfect item, it can be easy to forget to be careful about the items you've already purchased.
Someone had punched all their windows out and taken, I think it was a new iPod. And they broke into his car because he had CDs and everything out in the open.
Now, there are precautions you can take to reduce the risk of becoming a victim.
Keep it in the trunk of the car. Never leave it out where someone can see it through the window.
I just try to get here early, park close, so it's not out too far.
Keep it on you or hide it in a safe place that no one else will see it.
All good tips that could reduce the chance someone will try to rip you off. Police advise you lock your vehicle doors, place the items out of sight, like in the trunk. If you put them in the back seat, make sure you hide them with a blanket or coat. Police say these tips may not work all the time, but they could be enough to thwart thieves. Well, shopping turned dangerous in California. A pickup truck crashed into a grocery store yesterday. It smashed through checkout stands and aisles. Thankfully, no one was hurt. Firefighters responded after getting a call that someone was stuck in a vehicle inside the store. When they arrived, the driver had gotten out of the truck. No word yet on why that driver lost control. Well, more of you are filling up your gas tanks, how that's helping to pump up the economy. Plus the fight over your money, how stores are pulling out all the stops. And Santa's coming for Rover and Fluffy too. How much is spent on our four-legged friends? All that's coming up on INN.